I just want to talk a little bit about allergies. Obviously, today a lot of people are reacting to a lot of different things that never used to happen, to the extent as what it's happening today, whether it's food allergies, dust allergies, pollen, like most of the things we can think of, someone's allergic to them. And we have to think about why this is happening and what's actually happening inside people's bodies for them to be reacting a certain way. Like, why does some person react to something and then another person doesn't react to something? I used to have super bad allergies, especially to dust and occasionally pollen as well. And this was about probably 7 years ago. And it went on for like a long time. And I used to be sneezing all the time. I used to have really watery and runny eyes. Um, my immune system was just sort of just always fighting, and it was always under attack, it felt like, and it didn't feel good to be in my body because I was always just run down, sick, tired. And then I decided to go to the doctors and get some injections for allergies, and I tried that for 3 months, once a week. But every time I went and they injected me with a substance that was supposed to increase my immunity to specifically the dust that I was allergic to, I could feel that my throat would close over and I would start wheezing. And after 3 months, it wasn't really working. And I was like, I just got to find something else. And then I went on this journey to cure my allergies specifically. And now all my allergies are totally gone. I tried many different things. Some things worked, some things didn't work. But my quality of life now is like 10 times better than what it was. And I just wanted to share a couple of things about um, if you have allergies, how you can actually potentially help yourself start to make some more informed choices or better things. So obviously it depends what you're allergic to, but often allergies actually stem back to the lymphatic system. I've studied a lot about the human body and about detoxification, and the lymphatic system is about 75% of the body's fluid, and blood is the rest. So most people focus on blood, and very little people focus on what the actual lymphatic system does and the lymph fluid. Yet it's 75% of the whole body's fluid. So the blood has a heart to pump it around. The lymph system only moves from breathing and movement and astringent foods as well obviously help the lymph system. So for example, lemon, when you go to put lemon in your mouth, your lymph system, you can feel all those fluids coming up and it starts moving and pulling. And the lymphatic system actually cleans the body, whereas blood feeds all the cells, the lymphatic system takes all the cells waste out of the body. And it's a super important system. And most people's lymphatic systems are clogged, and that's why people are reacting. And because it's not flowing, the toxins aren't flowing out of the body anymore. They're actually just clogged. It's like a stagnant river that's not moving, rather than a free-flowing stream in nature that's like pristine water running out, running out, running out. So we have to look at why the lymphatic system's clogged and what's clogging it. And if it already is clogged, which most people's are, then how to actually, start moving it. And there's many different ways to do this. One of the most mucus-forming, lymphatic clogging foods is dairy. So if you do have allergies, the number one step is just to remove dairy and just see. You can experiment for yourself. And another quick thing that I can touch on is, there's obviously many different ways to move the lymphatic system, but briefly now I'll just touch on there's also the emotional side of it. So like, why is your body reacting to something external and like fighting it? Why is your body in friction and like, sort of like war? It's like fighting the external environment. And whereas someone else's body might be in total harmony with the external environment. They walk into a dusty room and it's fine. because it should be fine because it's just dust. But whereas, someone else's body walks into a dusty room and it totally reacts. It totally puts up its guard and it starts fighting and it starts reacting. And this is, it's just interesting to look at. And the emotion behind this, from my personal experience, is competition. We live in a very competitive society, and we're taught from a very young age to compete, to be the best, to be the best. And there's one winner and there's many losers. And you'll be able to see in your life who's competitive and who's not. And people with a very competitive mindset are also competing against, it's like themselves versus the environment, rather than themselves with the environment, in harmony with the environment. So this is like an emotion, a deep, deep core belief that whether you're competitive or you're actually for the collective and you're actually not as competitive, one's not better or worse, but if it's if there's a big competition core belief, then you may be competing with your environment, which may be actually causing allergies within you. So there's ways to release those emotions and create a new core belief that is maybe more harmonizing and more in line with how you actually want to live. So there's a few things there. Another one is how to move the lymphatic system. So once you clean the lymphatic system, then how to actually move it. And one of the best ways is lemons. So as I said, lemons they're super astringent and they're very detoxifying and they really move the lymphatic system. But, it's hard to tell depending on who you are. If you have a very, very clogged lymphatic system and you have lemons, it will move it too fast. And then you might react, you might have an allergic reaction to lemons. And so it's a very specific process to be able to bring someone from having allergic reactions to not having allergic reactions. But I thought I'd just touch on a few concepts and ideas for people who have allergies in order to make, empower them a little bit more, empower you a little bit more around the choices you make, and just for you to experiment with your body. And it's fundamentally about you feeling empowered around health to make the changes to create the life that you want to lead. So that's all specifically about allergies, and I hope you're having a wonderful day or night. I just want to talk a little bit about allergies. Obviously today a lot of people are reacting to a lot of different things that never used to happen. To the extent as what is happening today, whether it's food allergies, dust allergies, pollen, like most of the things we can think of, someone's allergic to them. And we have to think about why this is happening and what's actually happening inside people's bodies for them to be reacting a certain way. Like, why does some person react to something and then another person doesn't react to something? I used to have super bad allergies, especially to dust, and